Okay, so editing starts with how you're going to organize your pictures. I'm pretty sure that you're going to click a lot of pictures. First thing, you need to ensure that you click your pictures on RAW mode. Okay. Now, how to enable RAW mode? I think you know it already on your camera, on your settings. You have the RAW mode. You can select only the RAW mode or RAW plus something like a basic JPEG or a fine JPEG. So I would go for RAW plus B, which is RAW plus basic JPEG. So that when you open the memory card using a memory card reader, so I use this memory card reader from Transcend. Transcend is one of such good companies which provides you technologies like memory card itself and the reader for it and other stuff. So I got it from Amazon. So this is what it is. You can also put micro SD card as well and CF card as well. CF card is like old formatted memory card, and then QXD card also you can put it here. QXD card is like much more recent SD card which has faster speeds. Okay, we recommend you to have a good memory card. Now if you see the memory card is defined by the size of it and the speed of it. So this is Extreme Pro, and the one I have over here is Extreme. So if you compare which one is good, which one is faster, Extreme Pro is faster than Extreme itself because of the read and write speed. So it has 95 Mbps of read speed and 90 Mbps of write speed. Write speed is not always mentioned in the card. Okay, so but this one has 90 Mbps of read speed and 40 Mbps of write speed. It's again not mentioned in the card. Only the read speed will be mentioned because read speed is always higher than the write speed. Okay, so you understand, right? What is read and write?
Yeah.
Read is when you
Trying to upload it.
when you read from a book, it's
yeah.
reading, and when you're writing on a book, it's writing. The same thing happens over here when the camera sees the image and captures the image and it writes to your memory card. So that speed is much slower in most of the memory cards, and the read speed on the other hand is like reading that information to stored and displaying it on your LCD screen is the read speed. Okay, so that is always higher because the read speed is much faster than the write speed, because in the write speed it has to basically individualize the block in the system, and then each block it has to write data. But in terms of reading, whatever is already written is what's gonna be read. Okay, so this is basically the difference, and the size of the memory card also determines the number of pictures you can store in it. For example, I can store a 4K movie for about 20 like 2-3 hours of 4K movie in this one, but double the time storage I get it here because it's double the storage amount over here. Okay, you can also buy 128 to 56 GB of a memory card, but you need to make sure your camera supports it, because once you buy 256 GB of memory card and you put it in your camera and you have an older camera, it doesn't understand what is 256 GB and not be able to use it. So you have to check your camera's compatibility and then buy these products. Are you clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the memory card idea, and once you save the data in the memory card, the next thing is gonna happen is the storage. It's gonna open those files in here and it's gonna put it like this. I will show you one such folder. Yeah, this is one such folder and these are the files. So what this means is like 100D is basically, it's nothing but a number.
Of the camera.
The D5300 is name of your camera.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it is any other camera, it will store the same memory card will have multiple folders like this with different name of the camera. So what's the camera you have?
It's an A6000.
Yeah, it will be like that, A6000 something. And for you, D500, 5300. So it's the same thing will come over here. And inside the folder you will have images and videos, and that will also be listed in the based on this one. There are two methods of saving this data. Either you can save it through the numbers, like listing from 1 2 3 4 5 6 every time you format it, or if you have not formatted it, then it's gonna have the continuous series of numbers. Okay, so even if you take thousands of pictures, you're gonna have 1001 like that continuous. Okay, so that's how it is. So these are from different cameras. I can see that G Pro a Geo Pro, which is nothing but a GoPro camera, and this is like a video which is captured in your normal camera. Okay, so the second thing of holding your pictures in a format is basically I have these three formats. This is my signature if I want to import any of my signature into any of the picture. So I have all my signatures over here, not just mine but also other companies' signature, whichever comes in. And this is the for processing folder, which is basically files are kept for processing, like post, for example, the post processing which we're talking about right now. So whichever files are still not processed will be inside the for processing folder, and the pictures are processed till now is like inside the pics folder, where I have studio shoots, I have outdoor shoots, I have flower photographies. All these things are listed in different folders. Is this your phone?
Yeah.
Okay, so in this way I sort out my pictures so that tomorrow when I want to go back my memory lane and probably pick some pictures for my exhibition or something, I can go over here and check it out. In exhibitions we export only the raw file images, so if you don't have a raw file images, then that picture will not be qualified to be part of the exhibition. Okay, now we can see these pictures over here which is kept for the exhibition last year. Okay, not this year, 2017, it's not over yet, so yeah. Okay, so this is all about it. So I basically sometimes I put it across the client name so that I can understand easily which folder and what it is. So when you go over here, you can see there are a few pictures which is the selected folder. I normally have two more different folders called JPEG and RAW files, and put JPEG in JPEG folder, RAW files in RAW file folder. And I take selected pictures. Selected pictures are the one which is going to be edited. See, as a photographer, you might be clicking hundreds of pictures, so you can see that all kind of photos are there, but 78 items are there. But we will not be using these 78 items exactly for editing, okay? Because there'll be some problems. So if you say like I open this picture, you say like this one is looking good, right? Yeah. But the problem of the picture comes when you open the picture. Now if you zoom in, you can see the entire thing is blurred. Okay, her hand is focused.
Yeah.
So this kind of problem always happens with everyone. It's not just me or you. It happens with everyone. So if we click hundreds of pictures, and in hundreds of pictures you get like 50 or 30 or 40 or 10 pictures also, good pictures. Okay, so it is not a problem, but what you have to do is like learn from your mistakes. Okay, because these are beautiful pictures that get spoiled. We understand it happens when you don't have focus, and probably you can also re-simulate that same thing again in the studio. You will understand it today much better because you're gonna have a window shoot after this. Okay, so you will be able to understand how hard it is to simulate the same thing which was done before, unless the model remains the same as a still statue, like a statue. If she remains the same, then obviously we can click another picture of that. But if she moves around or something like that, then you might not be able to do that.
Mostly during candid photography or something like that,
Yeah.
we get that one. We need to click at one particular candid, expression, but it gets blurred out.
Yeah, candid is basically clicking a picture without their knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Of course, they know that we are clicking
Fake
pictures.
candid and real candid.
That will be different. Yeah, correct. So these are the pictures I've selected, which is okay, and we can post-process this. Okay, so now when you see the pictures like this, it might not be good, great, and blah blah blah. So it is with your hands to make it even better. It's like applying makeup after taking the picture. Okay, not just to the face. The makeup is not just to the face, but also to the environment around it. Okay, so that's post-processing. There are two methods of doing this. One is through a Photoshop tool, which needs a higher processing power for your system and higher RAM to store this data of whatever being processed. So okay, so you can see over here that these are the pictures. This can be edited. Now, how much you want this to be edited? what level you want this to be edited. That's the question you need to answer. You want to take individually edited, you can do it in Photoshop. You want to bulk edit it,
Oh.
you can do it in Lightroom. But what the disadvantage of bulk editing is that now if you just look over this picture, it all looks fine as thumbnail. This is we call thumbnail. Okay, so when you double click this actually you will get the problem over here. So when you zoom in, right, you get the problem. It's blurred. Crap. Yeah, this is also blurred. Yeah, this is fine, right? So you get the problem, right? Do you? Yeah. So there's so many spots over here. As a thumbnail, it was looking, oh wow, nice picture, right? Even this one as well. This nice picture. Now you see, now the moment you zoom in, right, you get so many problems in the picture. Now it is your duty to sort out all these problems. Now let me tell you that you cannot resolve these problems in a bulk manner, because these are like individual problems. Say like example, she is facing towards this side in this picture, but at the same time when you open the other picture, she's facing towards this side, so her face position changes and everything else changes. Now she is showing two sides of her face. That in the previous picture there was only one side, so I cannot apply a change which was done on the previous picture to this picture, because this is completely different picture. But what changes I can do to her bulk in all these pictures is the color changes. I want to change the color of this, the layout of this. I can do that in a bulk manner. But when I want to correct her face, clearing off the pimples and other stuff, I can't do that for in terms of bulk. I can only do it in terms of individual pictures. I have to open individual pictures and then edit it. So the best tool for editing individual pictures is Photoshop. The best tool for editing multiple pictures for the colors and contrast and all the other things is adding the signature. You don't want to add each signature to one picture like that, right? So if you want to add a bulk image signature, Lightroom. That's also from Adobe. Both are Photoshop and this one are from the same company, but it serves a different purpose. Okay. But more or less Adobe Lightroom is more or less like Photoshop. It has all the tools and components, but you cannot expect the same level of fine-tuning in Photoshop in Adobe Lightroom. Okay, like Photoshop is for the fine-tuning effects. I can show you that. So let's take this photo for an example. Let's put us through the Photoshop. As I said, Photoshop will be taking immense number of your CPU and RAM. Now you can see it's just spinning because something is occupying more amount of space. You can see that Photoshop starts to occupy more amount of memory, and you will be noticing it keeps increasing, not decreasing.